No intro.
I'm going to be talking about how to create your own initial document. This is just for basic print, and I'm just, let's say, a novel, and you want to get started and putting your book here into the program. I'm just going to show you the basic way and a few of what that means. So let's get started. Okay, so right now you can see that over here, I've gone and I click New Document, Create New, and it brings up all of these options here. This is Indesign CC 2019. And you can see that over here it says 51P0. Now for me, as well as most people, the points or picas don't actually mean a lot. So we're going to go ahead and change that so that it is actually reading inches. So we can close out of here and we go up to File Preferences, InDesign Preferences, and we get Units and Increments. We can change this horizontal ruler units as well as interface, general, lots of other stuff. But we're going to go units and increments. We're going to change this to inches and inches because most people know your book is 6x9 or 8x10 or something like that. So let's go ahead and say OK. Now I'll go create new. And you'll see right here it says 8.5 by 11 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and make a standard guidebook size book, which is 6x9. 6 inches by 9 inches. Okay, we're gonna look down here, pages. This is just an initial. You can always add pages later, but how many pages do you want to start with? I'm just gonna go ahead and say 10 facing pages. Now this means that do you want to have it show up in the document in InDesign here as pages right next to each other, so left and right, you would see them two kind of connected, or do you want them to be individual in a line? Generally, I prefer seeing them connected, so I'm going to leave facing pages. Start number, this is if you want the page to start in number 10 or with an A or something else. I always just start with number 1. Columns, this is if you want it kind of divided, your page divided. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put 2 so you can see what these columns look like. And the column gutter is the amount of space in between the columns themselves. And I'll show you what that looks like after. I'll just leave it right where it is. Okay, margins. This is a margin on the inside of the page. This is how far your text is going to be generally from the inside of the page. And it gives you a good margin. Normally it's about 1/2 inch all the way around the book, but you can make it larger on the inside or outside or however you like. So I'll just leave it 1/2 inch. The bleed. The bleed is interesting, but the bleed is important. You need at least 0.125 inches for most printing companies. This is just for the inside. The cover is normally 0.25. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put 0.125. This is actually the amount of space on the outside of the page where things that run to the edge will actually extend over. And I'll show you that as well. And then slug. Right now we're not actually going to worry about the slug. The slug is generally bigger than the bleed. It goes past the bleed. And it's generally just for information that you want the printer to see or other marks during your own working process. All right, so we can get a little preview. And there we go. This is currently what it looks like. Okay, so I'll just say create. All right, and now what we have here is our page. And I can bring this pages window over. This is the pages window. Generally you'll see this. And this is what your book looks like right now. This is the facing pages here, here, 2 and 3 are facing. If I didn't choose facing, all of the pages would look like this. Here in a long line, 1 through 10. All right, you can see this in my columns. This is column 1 and column 2. Just I selected 2 columns, and this area here is the gutter between columns. This is my margin, and this is my bleed line, this red line here on the outside. Okay.